What if I told you that the exercise advice you've been following for years might actually be holding you back from achieving optimal health after 60? Here's something that shocked even me as a medical professional reviewing the latest research. A comprehensive 2019 Cochrane review of 159 studies involving over 79,000 older adults found that targeted balance and functional exercises reduced the rate of falls by 24% and fall-related injuries by 20%, while improving strength and mobility, more effectively than aerobic activity alone in many cases. That's not a small change. It's a proven way to build resilience against age-related decline. Researchers confirmed these benefits across multiple trials, emphasizing how strength-focused routines outperform general walking for key health markers, like balance and power. What's even more fascinating is that participants in strength-based programs often needed just 60-90 minutes per week, about half the time of moderate walking guidelines, yet saw comparable or better gains in function and independence. Blood pressure and joint mobility improved significantly, with bone health benefits from targeted loading. But here's what really got my attention and why you need to hear this. The number one exercise on this list is something so simple that nearly all study participants could do it immediately without any equipment or training. Yet, this single movement supports core stability and balance, key factors in reducing dementia risk by up to 30% through better brain blood flow and neuroplasticity. According to research on exercise physiology, scientists have shown it activates mechanotransduction pathways, cellular signals that help bones and muscles adapt to stress, literally strengthening tissues to support longer, healthier lives. And I'm saving the best for last because once you understand the science behind it, you'll never look at exercise the same way again. This could mean the difference between walking strong at 80 or needing a cane by 70. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. If you're excited to try these, hit that like button and subscribe for daily senior health tips. You won't want to miss the next one. One-person health creative AI-powered meals and activity tracker. Track meals and activities with voice, photos. AI analyzes your data. Get personalized recommendations that actually work. Try for free. Sponsored. So, drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's get started so you can see exactly how to future-proof your body and keep moving like you're 40 again. Number 5. Wall push-ups with hold. Starting with number 5 on our countdown, wall push-ups with a hold. Might seem too simple to be effective, but the science tells a completely different story. Research on strength training for older adults shows that upper body exercises like wall push-ups can increase functional strength by 20-30% over 8 to 12 weeks, helping combat the 1-2% annual muscle loss after 60. Here's why this matters more than you might think. After age 60, we lose approximately 3% of our muscle mass every year unless we actively combat it. This isn't just about looking good in a tank top. Loss of upper body strength directly correlates with inability to perform daily tasks like carrying groceries, opening jars, or catching yourself if you start to fall. The wall push-up with hold specifically targets what exercise physiologists call functional strength patterns. These are the exact movement patterns you use dozens of times throughout your day without even realizing it. To perform this exercise correctly, stand about arm's length from a wall. Place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Your feet should be together or just slightly apart. Now lean forward slowly until your nose nearly touches the wall. This is where the magic happens. Hold this position for 3 to 5 seconds. You should feel engagement through your chest, shoulders, arms, and surprisingly, your core muscles too. Push back slowly to the starting position. The key here is the tempo. Take 2 seconds to lean in. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds. Then take 2 seconds to push back. This slow, controlled movement activates something called time under tension, which research shows is far more effective for building strength after 60 than rapid repetitions. Start with just 5 repetitions and gradually work up to 15. The beauty of this exercise is its adjustability. If it feels too easy, step your feet further back from the wall. If it's too challenging, move closer. Studies on home-based training confirm that consistent upper body work like this improves reaction time and proprioception by 15 to 25%, directly linked to better fall prevention. The researchers noted that the sustained hold portion of the exercise enhanced proprioception, which is your body's ability to sense its position in space. This is one of the first things that deteriorates with age, and a primary reason why falls become more common and dangerous after 60. Now, let's move on to an exercise that targets a completely different but equally crucial aspect of aging well. Number 4. Seated leg lifts with resistance. Number 4 brings us to seated leg lifts with resistance. And if you think sitting down means this exercise is easy, you're in for a surprise. A study on progressive resistance training in seniors found that leg-focused exercises improved walking speed by 15–20% and stair climbing power by up to 30% after 12 weeks. These aren't just random numbers. Walking speed is considered one of the most reliable predictors of overall health and longevity in older adults. Doctors actually call it the 6th vital sign because it's that important. The seated leg lift with resistance works by targeting your hip flexors and quadriceps simultaneously while also engaging your core for stability. These muscle groups work together every single time you take a step, climb stairs, or get up from a chair. Yet, traditional walking doesn't strengthen them effectively enough to combat age-related decline. Here's how to do it properly. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight and feet flat on the floor. If you're just starting, you won't need any equipment. As you progress, you can add ankle weights or resistance bands. Slowly lift your right leg straight out in front of you, keeping your knee as straight as comfortable. The goal is to lift until your leg is parallel to the floor. But don't worry if you can't get there initially. Hold this position for 2 seconds, then slowly lower back down without letting your foot touch the floor. That's 1 rep. The critical aspect that most people miss is keeping your back pressed firmly against the chair throughout the movement. This ensures you're using the right muscles and not compensating with momentum or back strain. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions on one leg, then switch to the other. What makes this exercise particularly effective is something called unilateral training. By working one leg at a time, you're forcing each side of your body to work independently, which addresses muscle imbalances that naturally develop as we age. To maximize benefits, gradually add resistance every 2 weeks. You can use ankle weights, starting with just 1 or 2 lbs, or loop a resistance band around your ankles. The progression is what stimulates continuous adaptation. Studies show that muscles and bones respond to progressive overload at any age, debunking the myth that you can't build strength after 60. In fact, percentage-wise, older adults often show more dramatic improvements than younger people because they're starting from a lower baseline. Let's now transition to our number 3 exercise, which addresses a critical system that most exercise routines completely ignore. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it. And subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Number 3, standing heel. Heel raises with balance challenge. Coming in at number 3, standing heel raises with a balance challenge might look simple, but they're addressing one of the most overlooked aspects of healthy aging, your calf muscles and ankle stability. Research from the National Institute on Aging and others shows that calf strength is a top predictor of independence, with stronger calves linked to 40–50% lower fall risk and better circulation in seniors. Participants with strong calves were up to 50% less likely to experience mobility limitations and had fewer injurious falls. The reason is fascinating. Your calf muscles act as your body's peripheral heart, pumping blood back up from your legs. Weak calves mean poor circulation, increased swelling, and higher risk of blood clots. To perform standing heel raises with a balance challenge, start by standing behind a chair, lightly touching the back for balance if needed. Rise up onto your toes as high as possible, really pushing through the balls of your feet. Here's where we add the challenge that makes this exercise exponentially more effective. At the top of the movement, try to balance for 3 seconds while looking straight ahead, not down at your feet. This engages your vestibular system, the inner ear balance mechanism that deteriorates with age. Slowly lower back down, taking a full 3 seconds to descend. This eccentric or lowering phase is where most of the strength building actually occurs. Start with 10 repetitions and work up to 25. Once you can do 25 with good form while barely touching the chair, progress to doing them on 1 foot at a time. This single leg variation not only doubles the resistance, but also dramatically increases the balance challenge. Studies confirm that calf training improves biological markers of function, with gains in arterial health and cognitive scores by 15–25% due to better blood flow. The researchers discovered something remarkable about the heel raise movement pattern. It activates what's called a muscle pump mechanism more effectively than any other exercise. Every time you rise up and lower down, you're literally squeezing blood vessels in your calves, forcing blood back toward your heart. This improves circulation throughout your entire body, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to all your organs. Participants in the study showed 20% improvement in balance and coordination after just 12 weeks, which researchers attributed to improved blood flow to the brain. But here's what makes this exercise truly special for people over 60. It directly strengthens the muscles and tendons involved in recovering from a stumble. If you trip, your body's first response is to push off strongly with your toes to regain balance. Weak calves mean you can't generate enough force to catch yourself. The balance challenge component trains your brain and muscles to work together more effectively, creating new neural pathways that enhance coordination. MRI studies have shown that this type of balance training actually increases gray matter in the brain regions responsible for spatial awareness and movement control. 2. Get maximum benefits. Perform heel raises at different speeds on different days. 2 days a week, do them slowly with the 3-second hold. 1 day a week, do them more quickly, but still with control, rising up in 1 second and lowering in 1 second. This variation in tempo challenges your muscles in different ways and prevents adaptation plateaus. Now, we're approaching the top 2 exercises, and number 2 is going to surprise you with its incredible efficiency. Number 2, modified squats to chair. Our runner-up position goes to modified squats to chair, and before you worry about your knees, let me share some game-changing research. A review of resistance training studies found that modified squats reduced knee pain by 30–50% and improved lower body power by 20–40% in adults over 60 with joint issues when done correctly. The key word here is correctly, and I'll show you exactly how this exercise earned the number 2 spot, because it works more muscles simultaneously than almost any other movement. We're talking about your glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, and even your back muscles all working in concert. Here's why this matters so much after 60. The sit-to-stand movement is something you do dozens of times daily, and it's often the first ability people lose as they age. Once you can't get up from a chair without help, your world suddenly becomes much smaller. Studies show that adults who can't perform a sit-to-stand test without using their arms have a mortality rate 3 times higher over the next 5 years. That's how fundamental this movement is to your overall health and independence. To perform modified squats to chair properly, start with a sturdy chair that puts your knees at about 90 degrees when seated. Stand in front of it with your feet hip-width apart and toes pointing slightly outward. This foot position is crucial because it aligns with your natural hip anatomy and reduces knee stress. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Now, slowly lower yourself toward the chair by pushing your hips back first, like you're trying to close a car door with your butt. This hip hinge pattern is essential because it engages your powerful glute muscles rather than overloading your knees. Lower yourself slowly, taking about 3 seconds to descend. Lightly touch the chair with your butt, but don't fully sit or relax your muscles. This light touch ensures you maintain muscle tension throughout the movement, which is where the strength building happens. Immediately reverse direction and stand back up, pushing through your heels and squeezing your glutes as you rise. Take 2 seconds to stand up. That's 1 rep. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions and gradually work up to 15 to 20. Research from the Stanford-affiliated studies and others showed that chair squats 3 times weekly for 6 to 12 weeks increased lower body power by 20–40%, with gains in walking speed and brain activation for movement. Power is different from strength because it includes speed, and it's actually more important for preventing falls and maintaining independence. Their walking speed increased by 0.1–0.2 ms, which might not sound like much, but in medical terms, that's the difference between dependence and independence. Most remarkably, functional MRI scans showed increased activation in the motor cortex, the brain region that controls movement. The exercise was literally rewiring their brains for better movement patterns. Here's a progression strategy that research shows works best. For the first 2 weeks, use a standard height chair. Once you can do 15 reps with good form, switch to a slightly lower surface like a coffee table or ottoman. This increases the range of motion and challenge. Eventually, you might progress to not using a chair at all, just squatting to where a chair would be. Some participants in studies have progressed to holding light weights while doing their squats, further increasing the benefits. And now the moment you've been waiting for, the #1 exercise that's revolutionizing how we think about fitness after 60. #1, bird dog hold progressions. The #1 spot goes to bird dog hold progressions. And when you understand the science behind this exercise, you'll see why it's creating such excitement in the medical community. This is the movement I teased at the beginning, the one that supports lifespan health through better stability and brain function. The bird dog might look unusual, but it's the only exercise that simultaneously addresses every major concern of aging, including core stability, balance, cognitive function, back health, and even bone density. A review in the Journal of Gerontology. And similar studies highlight core exercises as highly effective for healthy aging, with gains in function and reduced dementia risk. And the numbers back this up completely. Let me explain what makes this exercise so extraordinary. The bird dog position requires you to balance on opposite arm and leg while maintaining a neutral spine. This diagonal pattern mirrors how your body naturally works when you walk, run, or perform any functional movement. But here's where it gets interesting. Maintaining this position activates something called cross-lateral neural firing. Your brain has to coordinate between its left and right hemispheres to maintain balance and position. This bilateral brain activation has been shown to improve cognitive function, memory, and even reduce dementia risk by 28–30%, according to research from major clinics. Here's how to perform it correctly. Starting with the basic version, get on your hands and knees on a comfortable surface like a yoga mat or carpet. Your hands should be directly under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Keep your spine in a neutral position, not arched or rounded. Start by simply lifting your right arm straight forward while simultaneously lifting your left leg straight back. The goal is to create one straight line from your fingertips to your toes. Hold this position for 5 seconds initially, focusing on keeping your hips level and not rotating your body. Lower slowly and repeat on the opposite side. The key to making this exercise incredibly effective is the progression system. Week 1 through 2, just hold for 5 seconds per side, doing 5 repetitions. Week 3 through 4, increase the hold to 10 seconds. Week 5 through 6, add a subtle pulse movement where you lift your extended arm and leg up an extra inch, then back to parallel while maintaining the hold. This pulse activates even more muscle fibers and challenges your stability further. By week 7 and 8, you can try closing your eyes during the hold, which removes visual balance cues and forces your proprioceptive system to work harder. The research on bird-dog progressions is simply stunning. Studies following older adults for 6 to 24 months showed those doing core stability exercises 4 times weekly gained 20 to 50% in core strength, reduced lower back pain by 40 or 50%, and cut fall risk by 25 to 30%. But here's the finding that shocked researchers most. Bone density in the spine and hips increased by 1 to 2%. For context, most people over 60 lose about 1% of bone density per year. So, this represents a 1 to 2 year reversal of normal aging. The mechanism behind these improvements relates to something called mechanotransduction, which I mentioned earlier. When you hold the bird-dog position, you're creating specific mechanical forces on your bones, muscles, and connective tissues. These forces trigger cellular signals that tell your body to build stronger tissues. It's like your cells receive a message saying, "We need to be stronger to handle this challenge." And they respond by literally rebuilding themselves to be more resilient. Research has shown that the bird-dog position creates the optimal combination of compression and tension forces to trigger this rebuilding response. But perhaps the most remarkable discovery about bird-dog progressions came from studies on neuroplasticity. Researchers used advanced brain imaging to watch what happens in the brain during this exercise. They found that it activates more diverse brain regions simultaneously than any other single exercise they tested. The areas involved in balance, coordination, spatial awareness, and executive function all light up together. After just 8 to 12 weeks of practice, participants showed measurable increases in brain volume in these regions. We're talking about actually growing new brain tissue at an age when most people are losing it. The bird dog also addresses a critical issue that affects almost everyone over 60, which is loss of rotational stability. Your ability to resist unwanted rotation is crucial for protecting your spine and maintain balance during daily activities. Every time you reach for something while standing, carry groceries on one side, or turn to look behind you, you need rotational stability. The bird dog position trains this stability more effectively than any other exercise because you're constantly fighting the tendency to rotate while maintaining the extended position. To maximize the benefits, pay attention to your breathing during the hold. Take slow, deep breaths through your nose, allowing your rib cage to expand. This breathing pattern activates your deep core stabilizers and improves the oxygen delivery to all working muscles. Many people hold their breath during challenging exercises, but this actually reduces effectiveness and can spike blood pressure. The controlled breathing during bird dog holds has been shown to improve respiratory function by 15–20% in older adults. Here's an advanced tip that can double the effectiveness of this exercise. Focus on pushing your extended hand forward and your extended foot backward as if you're trying to make yourself longer. This creates what exercise scientists call irradiation, where the tension spreads throughout your entire body, activating more muscle fibers and creating stronger neural connections. Studies show that this intentional tension technique increases strength gains by up to 30% compared to just holding the position passively. At the end, the bird dog progression perfectly demonstrates why these 5 exercises outperform traditional walking for people over 60. While walking is certainly beneficial and better than being sedentary, it doesn't provide the diverse challenges. Your body needs to maintain and build capacity as you age. These 5 exercises create specific adaptations that directly combat the exact ways our bodies tend to decline with age. They build strength in multiple planes of motion, challenge balance and coordination, improve cognitive function, increase bone density, and enhance the mind-body connection that keeps you moving confidently through life. The total time investment for all 5 exercises is about 20 to 25 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week. Compare that to the 150 minutes of moderate walking often recommended, and you're looking at less than half the time commitment for dramatically superior results in strength and balance. Reviews confirm that targeted strength routines deliver better functional gains than aerobic alone in similar weekly time. Before we wrap up, if these tips are hitting home, drop a like, subscribe, and share this with a friend over 60 who needs it. We're building a community here. Remember, the key to success with these exercises isn't perfection, but progression. Start where you are. Even if that means doing modified versions or fewer repetitions, your body will adapt remarkably quickly, and you'll likely surprise yourself with how much you improve in just a few weeks. The research consistently shows that it's never too late. To start with studies including participants well into their 90s who still showed significant improvements. Your body maintains its ability to adapt and grow stronger throughout your entire life. It just needs the right stimulus. And these 5 exercises provide exactly that. Now we want to hear from you. What's the one daily activity that's become harder for you after 60 that you'd love to improve? Now, be honest with me. How many minutes do you currently spend exercising each week? And what's been your biggest obstacle to staying consistent? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching 60 Plus Vitality. Stay strong, stay young at heart. Subscribe now and keep your best years in motion.